100,000 virtual assistants. That's how many we've personally interviewed in my recruitment firm, and most of them honestly suck. But the top 1% all had the same exact traits, and once I figured this out, everything changed. We went from bad hires and wasted money to a 91% success rate across law firms, agencies, e-com brands, and even more. In this video, I'm gonna show you exactly what separates the top 1% from everyone else so you never waste money on the wrong hire ever again. Most people think that hiring a virtual assistant is a simple process. Post a job, get some applications, and pick whoever is the best resume or interview, and that's exactly why they keep getting burned. And here's what most business owners like to tell themselves when a hire goes wrong. They say there are no good VAs out there, they all quit after 60 days, and nobody cares about my business quite like I do. But here's the truth, the VA was not the problem. The hiring process was the problem. You were looking at the wrong things, scanning resumes for software knowledge and job titles when the real signals were hiding somewhere else entirely. And today, I'm gonna show you exactly where to look. Now, the number one factor that predicts how well a virtual assistant will perform in your role is their experience, but not just any kind of experience. Most people hiring a assistant will just look for someone that's done general VA work before, but that's way too vague and it's costing you. So here's what you actually need to look at. Number one is how similar was their last company to yours. For example, if you run a law firm that handles successions, sure, you could hire someone with general law firm experience and they might be decent, but they're probably not going to be as good as someone who has specifically worked with successions before. Someone who already knows the documents, already knows the process, the terminology, the client expectations, that person hits the ground running while the generalist is still catching up 3 months in. The more specific the match, the faster they ramp up, and the less you have to explain, the more value that they bring from day one. Now, number two is how long did they actually stay at their last role? Someone who lasted 3 months in their last job is a big red flag, but someone who stayed for 5 years is a green flag. That tells you people liked working with them and they could actually deliver on expectations. But here's where it gets nuanced, and this is where you have to use your best judgment. Because someone who stayed 6 months at a company almost identical to yours might actually be a stronger candidate for you than someone who stayed a full year at a company that's only loosely related to what you do. So if you're the business owner or part of the hiring department, you're looking for the best combination of both. That's your filter for experience. Now, once you found someone whose background checks out, the next thing you have to evaluate has nothing to do with their resume at all. The next most important factor is how well they communicate over text. Think about it. You're not going to be on the phone with your assistant all day. You're going to be sending them quick texts, voice messages, and short instructions between your meetings. The majority of your working relationship is going to happen over text, not on calls. So if they can't communicate clearly and quickly in writing, the whole thing will break down. Now, here's what I want you to pay attention to before you even get to the interview. If you're the one scheduling interviews, going back and forth with the candidates, then watch closely. How fast are they replying? Are their responses clear? Or do you find yourself rereading messages trying to figure out what they actually mean? Do you feel like you could get things done through text with this person, or does it feel like you need to over-explain everything just to get a simple task completed? Because here's the thing, the way they text you during the hiring process is a direct preview of what working with them is going to feel like every single day. You want someone you can fire off a voice message to and trust that it's going to get handled. No follow-up needed, no clarification calls, it's just done. If you're already feeling the friction in the way they communicate before they even get hired, that friction does not go away, it gets worse. Trust that feeling. So now you know what to look for in their backgrounds and how to read their communication before the interview even starts. But here's the thing. Neither of those will tell you if this person is actually going to stick around, and that comes to the last thing. Now, before I get into the third trait, which is honestly the real test whether someone is going to be with you long term, if you don't want to go through this entire process yourself, this is exactly what my team does. We'll audit the candidates, we'll run the vetting process, and place trained executives inside your business in as little as 5 days. The link is in the description. If you want us to handle it for you, book a call with me. Now, trait 3. So if you've ever worked with employees in a business before, you already know that problems come up. I'm sorry, that's just how it works. So it's not about avoiding problems altogether. It's about how you handle them when they arrive. And trust me, problems will arrive with your virtual assistant too, guaranteed. Now, does this mean you should expect your virtual assistant to solve every single problem in your business? Of course not. That is not what this is about. What this is about is simple. When you hit that first real obstacle together, do you feel like you're more efficient working through it with them, or would you be more efficient by yourself? That's the real test. Are they engaged in solving the problem, or do they just do the bare minimum and go quiet? Do they bring solutions to the table, or are they waiting for you to fix everything? Do they actually care about getting this problem resolved, or does it feel like it's not their problem and they don't care? And most importantly, are you showing up as a good leader in that moment? Because it goes both ways. Are you working through it together? That first problem is the real interview. How you both come out of it tells you whether this person is going to be with you for 6 months or 6 years. The ones who lean in when things get hard, those are your long-term A players. Those are the people who become the backbone of your entire business. So here's what actually separates the top 1% from everyone else. Number one is the experience match. How similar was their last company to yours, and how long did they actually stay there? You want the best combination of both. Number two, how are they communicating over text? Because that's where your working relationship actually lives. Fast replies, clear responses, and no over-explaining. And number three, how are they handling the first problem? Because problems are coming, and the question is whether they lean in or check out. And now you have two options. Option one, you could take this framework, run your own interviews and start filtering for these traits yourself. Or option two, you can let my team do it for you. We've audited over 100,000 candidates. We run the full vetting process and place trained executives inside your business in 5 days or less with a full replacement guarantee if it ever doesn't work out. If you want that, click the first link in the description below to book a strategy call. And now that you know what to look for in a great hire, you need to know how to actually find them in the first place, how to write the job post, where to source the candidates, and how to run the process without it taking over your calendar. So watch this next video right here where I go into all of that.